Again, expansion box, and promo box. Let's see what's in the promo box too. Wondering if I can see myself live on my phone. Lee Inception. Muhahaha. Yeah, I'm trying to see if I can't view my chat here. Oh, let me turn off my own volume. Okay, let's see if that works. Alright, Sal, how's it going, bud? I should be able to see your guys' messages now. So, what do you think, Sal? I'm doing a singleton. I got, we're discussing which cards I might want to potentially use. So, obviously, if we're going to go single, we're going to do some penguin stuff. Hey, Newman. We're going to do some penguin stuff. We're going to make a singleton deck, 40 cards. And right now I have Penguardian Legend Hanzo, and I have the Tux Emperor Spirit on board, ready to build with those. If I end up finding that I'm potentially missing what I might need in this deck to make it look good, I can potentially splash one of these other two colors instead of running Tux. And I know that with the stun mechanic from Tux, that would be a big loss for the stun capabilities. But we would gain a lot from these other two colors as well, as far as board disruption and being able to maintain the game for us. I'm going to take a look through our promos and see what blue stuff I like. You know what? You know what's funny is an Ash could be a legitimate consideration in this deck. What do you guys think about an Ash? Oh, sorry to hear that, Sal. I hope you're feeling better, man. I don't know what's ailing you, but I hope it's something quick and easy. We have a Nori. I don't know if I want him in the deck, though. If we were to go with the spirit, with the light spirit, we'd obviously play a Yuki. You know what? I'm going to go ahead and drop an Ash down just for the funsies of it. Can you imagine playing that on stream? That'd be awesome. Oh yeah, that's not a good card. Just going through some of the promos here real quick, see if we like anything specifically. Nope, don't like that. Okay, I'm gonna put that promo back in that box. And this is what? Let's search this. Oh, sorry, this was the promo pile. Back in the promo box. This is the Argent box. Yeah, the Tidebender. That would be pretty cool. I think you have to use him with red, I think, right? Is that how he worked? Now, before we get into the blue stuff, which we're obviously going to get into, I'm going to run through some of the Argent cards. There's some very obvious ones that we're going to want to play, like like the other Lloyd. This guy right here, because we're going to want to be able to use him to recur our spells so that we can get more advantage from them. Do we want anything else, though? Hey, Newman, I found some more carrier mechas for you right here in Tabletop Simulator. Mateo. Let's see. If you guys see anything that pops out to you, let me know. Got the Ravenous Acid Monger. Destroy up to 2 target augments, and if you destroy at least 1, this card gains quickness. If you destroy 2, this card also gains destroyer. At a cost of 5, though, it feels a little hard to cast, probably. I probably want to stick to the lower end reactive spells. Giga Shard Beast. Oh, by the way, nothing is banned in this format, so we could literally play banned cards. You can only play units, and other Shard Beasts you control get plus 500. Yeah, that's gonna be more constructed. We're definitely playing Eccentric Visitor. There's no way we're not with Tux. We want to Soul Burst Tux as often as we can. Master Genso, I will pull him out just because I really like the idea of being able to recur our 1-drop units. We could play around with the Shard Mecha package, and we could put that in there. But I am going to go ahead and skip over that for now. Once per turn, your opponent activates or triggers the ability of their champion or spirit. You can choose one. Draw a card or expel target card from your opponent's discard zone. That's definitely not horrible. That's a really good card, I think, overall. It might be one of our first cuts, though. Bone Scavenger, of course. But let's see. Argent Egg's not going to likely do a whole lot for us. Twilight Knight. We could play Twilight Knight. But actually, I want to save my 6-drop slots for more spells like Chronostasis and Stormcaster. Rudy. Rudy's fun, but I don't think we play him. Oh, Statue of the Argent Tower. Arrive, draw a card, sacrifice this card. Shuffle up to 3 target units from your discard zone back into your deck. That's not deplorable at all. I'll put this in the weird pile over here. Silver Watchwoman. I love Silver Watchwoman. She is a really good unit to combat with, to get in there, force your opponent to deal with them. Yeah, Sal, we could totally play Imp. We could, and Imp Recursion with Genso. Of course, you could only Genso at one time. But what's the other card? Oh, you could play totally Melanites. You could play a Melanite Ruin deck, and I think somebody actually is. Shard Spider is a pseudo-stun kind of effect. Primeval Acid Monger. Whenever this card declares an attack, you may destroy target augment. And I like that it's a May, so if I have an augment of my own on the board, I don't have to lose it. I like that you can attack with it. I don't know if it's very useful or not, but... Where's the Coral? Elemaster Coral. Here she is. If you control a water unit, you can switch control of this card and target unit your opponent controls. I am definitely playing an Elemaster. That just sounds like so much fun shenanigans. So I'll pull that up again for everybody. We have the Elemaster Coral. 2-drop for 1500 power, so she's going to get in and crack some towers. And as long as my opponent has a destroy water tower, it becomes a 2000 power, so it's definitely going to hit all the harder to hit towers too. And if I control a water unit, switch control of this card and target unit my opponent controls. I love it. Imagine all the different kinds of powerful units my opponents are going to play that I could play that down and just snag their guy. Okay, see, where's the other... Oh, so... We could consider these two guys. Neither player can target cards in discard zones. Neither player can activate the abilities of cards in discard zones. And you can only control one amulet. And since this is a singleton format, then that works anyways. Fragment of the Forgotten One. Triggered abilities of units and augments do not trigger. Which means ruined and enter the battlefield or arrive triggers. So this hurts us just as much as it hurts my opponent. I don't think I want to play that. Where is the dragon? I want the Shardwork Dragon. Shardwork Arbiter. We could legitimately play a Shardwork Arbiter. You can exhaust any number of units you control, and if you do, this card costs one less to play for each. You know what? Just for Damien, I spoiled this card. I will go ahead and put one in the deck just to see how it runs. Heart is an augment, right? It is an augment. I could play Hoken Archaeologist as a one-of and use it to fetch out my heart from the deck in order to gear up the heart to the robot, to the Arbiter. Is that too cute though? I think it might be too cute. Here's the guy I want, the Robot Dragon. This guy is great. That's just the type of thing, a quickness guy that we want. We want to be able to have him come in. He's got the same power as Silver Watchwoman. So this is what I want to talk about between Silver Watchwoman and Shardwork Dragon. This guy costs 2 to play and 1 to animate. So effectively, he can attack your opponent for the cost of 3, which is still 1 less than a Silver Watchwoman. Silver Watchwoman does arrive with her 2 counters that you can then remove to get other additional effects, like target attack, quickness, and the next damage would be dealt is prevented this turn. So that can be useful, but being able to do it at less mana or less Shardlight and have the option of not having to have quickness and cost even less to play is still really good. A drop 2000 power unit is pretty strong just on its own. I like the Hoken Hair. I foresee me playing this in other decks. I think I have scoured. So the Hound is a good unit too. The Shardwork Hound, target attack 1500 for 1. We'll pull one out just because we're deck building right now. So all right, I'll put the Argents back in the Argent box. Going to go through. Let's go through the intro deck stuff here real quick. Zoom, zoom, zoom all the way down to the water stuff. Here we go. This is what I like. Storecaster of Azure Tower. Always been one of my favorite big boys. Drop him in there. We'll rearrange the field. Definitely Shards of Winter. Shards of Winter comes in clutch in the style deck that this plays as. We're kind of a tempo deck, so we want to be able to tempo our opponents out and get in with some quickness dudes. And we're playing a Singleton deck, so Azure Seer is always just a great unit. We could drop one in and see where we get from there. Phantasmal cards, we could drop one because it's Singleton, so it's weird because so we're still building a 40 card deck. Ruined. Return target unit to its owner's hand. You know, the Storefish doesn't really see any play in any decks right now. It's just not that great. We're going to leave it there for now, but we could keep it in mind to come back to, I suppose. Force Blast. Return target unit with cost 2 or less to its owner's hand. for 2. So if this costs like maybe 1, maybe you could get some value out of it, but I don't think you get any value. Or if this card additionally drew a card, then that might be useful. But it doesn't, so. Ugh. Yeah, we're gonna skip the her too. And that's it for the intro deck stuff. I'm gonna put the intro deck stuff away. Into the box. Oh, box. There we go. Now we're gonna get into the meat of everything right here. Do a deep search for all the mysterious water elemental cards that we're going to want to play. Look at the top 3 cards of either player's deck and put them back in any order. I don't know if we have space or need for that card. Mara. Arrive. You may reveal 2 different spells from your hand. If you do, search your deck for an animated unit and put it into play. Well, there's only one animated unit, I believe. Is that correct? And that's obviously the spell book, or the broom, the spell broom or the spell book. And then you can, when it dies, you can get your other guy back. But I don't think it's going to be too useful just on its own. Leviathan's Fury. Look at that 10 cost spell. Instacast. But you can cast it at instant speed. This card costs 1 less to play for each of your face-up towers, so it can cost as low as 5. And return all units your opponent controls to the owner's hand. I don't like that. Let's just play Chronostasis. Dude, we're gonna have so much fun. Water spells you cast 1 less to play for each unit under this card. Whenever you would draw a card, you may put a unit card under this card into the discard zone instead. And if you do, search your deck for a witch unit or a phantasmal unit and add it to your hand. I like the witch. We can consider playing her. Father's Betrayal. Insta cast for 1. Return target exhausted unit you control to its owner's hand. This is a great way to be able to save a unit, but we have that penguin spell where you can return an attacking unit to its owner's hand and get 2 more units in exchange. I don't know if that card particularly is that great, but Hannah's Reformed Apprentice. Put into play a water elemental token unit with 500 power and ruined. Return target unit to its owner's hand. Not that good for how much it costs. Endowment of the Sea God. Endowment of the Sea God. You can only play 1 Endowment of the Sea God each turn, which won't be a problem in a Singleton deck. Flip any number of your face-up towers face down, and if you do, the next card you play this turn costs X less to play, equals the number of flipped towers I faced down. Okay. Enemy of my enemy would be a great one to play if we do splash. Phantasmal Bolt. Deal 1,000 damage to target unit your opponent controls, and if it destroys it, you may add a witch unit from your discard zone to your hand. You know, this actually might be really good. Phantasmal Gigant. Costs 1 less to play for each Phantasmal card in our discard zone. Ash, we already have 1 on the pile. 2 different spells from your hand. If you do, target unit your opponent controls cannot use Guardian this turn. Gillian, you may place on 2 of your units, including at least 1 witch unit. That's going to be harder to do in this deck. That's not what we're trying to do. Phantasmal Paladin, on any water unit. And this can nullify Guardian effects. Leviathan, the Ancient Serpent. This is a great card. Guardian Destroyer, arrive, take control of target unit. We're going to expect that these games probably are going to go long, so we're definitely going to want to potentially play them. Muse is a dead given. Ayakuma Juggernaut's still great. Phantasmal Guards, we got one on the board. Salt from the Deep, we're going to skip that. Azurus here, we have on the board. Silencer, Shard Drain. You may return one of your shards to the bottom of your deck. If your shard deck and target unit or augment loses all abilities this turn. You have to be able to target the unit though, and that can sometimes be a problem. Reactive Wounds is good. That's a good way to kind of time mark your opponent. Celestial Chronostasis. Ayakuma Wavebender. You just want to be able to tempo. And, of course, Ancient Serpent's Breath. Ooh, Cryptic Secret could be good. It's a great removal spell. If there is a destroyed light or water tower, and that could be either side, so any of these 4 towers. If any of these 4 towers are destroyed, shuffle target unit back into its owner's deck. Could be your deck. It could be, could be your unit, could be your opponent's unit. Probably you'd want to shuffle away an opponent's unit so that they can't regain access to it. That could be very useful in a lot of ways. And that actually might start seeing play if people pick up on it. Kako is good because you can control your opponent's top deck, or you can fix your own as well. Just for more spells, we have Tidal Rush, which is always just a great spell. Mr. Kins, absolutely one of my favorite units in general. I love that he's a beast. Animated Spellbook. Now, I've never really been a big fan of the animated spellbooks or anything like that. I'm going to skip it just because it doesn't do anything on its own, and we're not going to have a ton of spells that cost 1 or less. Target unit you control cannot be targeted by your opponent's spells this turn. Gillian's Gambit. Take control of 2 exhausted units. Seems fun, but it's costly. You know what? Do we just want to play Jank? I feel like we could totally do that. Alright, Mayu, of course, is always absolutely going to be there. Can't not play Mayu. So yeah, there's the Ash Tidebender we were talking about earlier, and it has to be fire. Your fire, well, you only get the effect from fire. Do we like the ring? I don't think we do. Finally getting into the penguin pile here. Hand of Pangiro. So, look at the top 3 cards of your deck. You may add a penguin unit from among them to your hand and place the rest on the bottom of your deck in any order. I don't like that because in a Singleton deck, we're going to be so diluted of penguins that it's just going to be a miss more often than ever not. It doesn't draw us cards, and as a unit, it's not very impressive in itself. Snowtop Hibagan. How do you pronounce that? Hibagan, maybe. It's a beast unit. Arrive if you control a penguin unit, you may stun target unit. So you have to control a penguin unit in order for this to be effective. But at the very least, he's a 3-chop with 2,000 power. So he might be a cut, but he could also be good too. Where am I at? Here we go. So Pengobi Conran. This card gains instacast in your hand while your opponent controls a stun unit. So that's good. Arrive, you may stun target unit with cost 1 or less. Okay, I like that. Stun a 1-drop. We're just going to be able to want to make sure that we have ways to be able to do stunning in order to gain effects from Hanzo. While your opponent controls a stun unit, this card gets plus 1000 in Guardian. And he's a penguin. We're going to put him up here. Pengushi Damio Kenshin. While your opponent controls a stun unit, this card gets plus 1000 and can't be targeted, so hexproof and 2000 power. He's not that great, but we drop him there for now. See what we got for space. Alright, Pengobi Kishu. Arrive. Stun target unit that came into play this turn. I like that. He's an instacast. You can play him at the end of your opponent's turn. So your opponent goes to play a unit, right? And they pass their turn to you. At the end of their turn, you can cast Pengobi Kishu, stun their unit, take your turn, attack with Pengobi Kishu, and if you happen to have the cards under Hanzo to put on the top or bottom of your deck, you can do that and nullify the tower he hits. So yep, Pangiro, Emperor of the Pangardia. Arrive like the top 5 cards of your deck. You may add a penguin from among them into your hand and put the rest of them at the bottom of your deck in any order. I don't want to be bottoming a lot of the stuff in this deck necessarily. And again, with being diluted, we're not going to be hitting that penguin as often as we want to. I don't think that he's going to be good for this deck. This guy, Pengushi Kyoto. While your opponent controls a stun unit, he gets plus 1000, and whenever this card declares an attack, you may destroy target stun unit. We like that, I think. Cost 1500 power for 2, and he does that in addition, so I think that's a good card. I love this guy. He's just a 1-drop instacast. There's never going to be anything wrong with a little bit of a flash deck. Pengobi, Jonin, Mochizuki. So like all these instacast units, what they allow us to do is they allow us to be able to hold up all of our reactionary spells so that we can control the board while managing, while still having the potential to be able to apply threats as well. Whenever this card declares an attack, you may stun target unit, and whenever a unit becomes stunned, you may draw a card, which is absolutely incredible. So he comes into play, or when he attacks, you're going to stun a unit and draw a card, if you can stun a unit. And he's a 2000 power. He also is a solid replacement for Silver Watchwoman in the new tempo decks. Even if you're not playing penguins and you're just playing blue, like this guy is just good on his own. Panjiro's Decree. This card costs 1 less to play. For each stunned unit your opponent controls, draw 2 cards. Now this is good. Draw 2 cards, right? And then whenever a stunned unit your opponent controls is put into a discard, you may add this card back to your hand, which is great. So we're going to go ahead and put that in. Snowtop Elemental. Arrive, stun target unit. So it doesn't get any simpler than that. We want the stun mechanics. We're going to play it. Let's see what my buddy Thomas has to say here. Oh, sweet. Alright, good news for him. I just told him to come hang out on stream. Alright, where were we? We were here with this guy. This is the Secret Pangutsu Glacial Clones. So this guy, just the nature of him, right, is a penguin you have, goes into combat, attacks your opponent, and your opponent says, I'm going to go ahead and block this guy or shoot this guy, and you're like, in response, I'm going to return him to my hand and drop 2 more guys down on the battlefield. So have fun with that. This is definitely a very situational card, but it can really load up your board as well. It's good if it works the way that it's intended to, but it's bad if you just get stuck with it in your hand and it feels funny. Arctic Arbiter. Ignore the effects of your opponent's water tower, which isn't that great, but units you control gain unblockable. That is great. We'll drop that down in this big heavy corner here. Glacial Shuriken, I mean, I don't have to think about this for too long. That's going straight in. Instacast, stun target unit. Very good. Again, very simple, direct spell. A spell that you might be able to put back underneath Lloyd if you want to. That's just going back in the field here. Why this pile? I'm going to stick this back in the Spirit's box where it belongs. Here we go. The Ice Breath First Form, Cryo Strike. Stun target unit with cost 2 or less if that unit was already stunned to destroy it instead. Definitely a great spell. I think I'm going to go ahead and include it in until we have to make cuts. Pay 1, sacrifice this card to stun target unit. I'm not a big fan. I think that we're going to have enough cards in our deck where we don't have to play him. Water units get plus 500 for each stunned unit your opponent controls. And so that's water units, all your water units, not just the penguins. And when it's ruined, you can stun target unit. So I'm going to be playing one Zephyr Crystal, because you can only play one of each special shard in your deck anyways, but I'm going to play one Zephyr Crystal in my shard deck. And I might have the very likely potential to be able to actually blow up my own totem, which could stun target opponent's unit. And I would only necessarily do that in a pinch. But that is an option to consider. If nothing else, then to just consider. Alright, so Cryostorm second form. Ice Breath second form. While your opponent controls a stun unit, neither player can add to the queue in response to this card, which doesn't mean that you can't play this card anytime you want. It just can't be responded to otherwise. Water units you control get plus 1000 and can't be targeted. But it doesn't have instacast. So I don't know. This is not a water card. This should not be in here, but here it is. Triggered abilities of units you cost equal to the number of counters on this card do not trigger. And so you just manipulate this. It's easy to work around sometimes, though, depending on your deck. So, the last card that we have is the Kumakori Penguardian Tutelary. It has Guardian, 3,500 power for 5. At arrive, or whenever a water unit you control is targeted by an opponent's spell or ability, you may choose one. Draw a card, stun target unit, or destroy target stunned unit. All absolutely fantastic abilities, all things we want to do in this deck, and this card is just a beast all on his own. Look at that. Oops, zoom back out here. So we just went through all of the water cards. Oh, there we go. I thought we missed that one. Definitely want Phantasmal Storm, just another great removal spell. Of course, it's a lot better when it's not Singleton. Shards of Winter we already have on the board here. You know, I'd love to have a promo Shards of Winter card. That would be fun. I think Shards of Winter has earned it. Okay, so that's the water pile. So let's get some of these cards together here. Ba-doop, ba-doop, ba-doop. Gotta pull these guys up here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put all these cards in a pile. And I have 47 cards. Right off the bat, 47. So that's great. So I won't have to make too many cuts because making cuts is not fun, right? So for the shard deck, we're going to have a bunch of these. We're going to want a cryptic crystal just for the fun of it. Ooh, you know, we can only have one of each special shard. Um, we could play other special shards. I don't know if we want to necessarily, but we could. That is an option. Hold on a second. I'm gonna respond to a buddy. Okay, so where we are back to here. We have these three as my special shards. I don't think it's any surprise that we're going to be wanting to use Cryptic Crystal, which is because my spirit is water. It comes into play untapped, and I arrive, look at the top two cards of my deck, and put them back in any order. Whenever I have any shard drain effects, I want to be able to have a Cryptic Crystal because I can just put Cryptic Crystal back at the bottom of my deck when I shard drain my shard deck, and I can just keep looping that Cryptic Crystal and getting my top of my deck fixed all the time. Well, after I get that 10th crystal, that 10th shard. Zephyr Shard, just because we're going to be facing the mysterious unknown out there. We want to be able to have a way to be able to deal with augments that my opponent, that's reliable, and my opponent's going to have a hard time dealing with. Corona Shard, just because you can, and it's nice to have that option to be able to just straight up shoot an opponent's unit if you need it. Now for shards, which one do we like better, guys? I think for this deck we could go with this shard because it looks more icy. Actually, that one looks more icy itself. Let's see. We'll skip that one. We'll put this one over here. What do you guys think? Yeah, we'll use that. So I'm gonna duplicate this. So 3, Control copy, Control paste. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And then that's our shard deck right there. Gonna group those together. That's our 10 cards for our shard deck. We can put that back in the pile here. And we can put these away. Shard box. Hey there, Ash West Knight. How's it going, bud? Yeah, I'm getting into it. I'm working on it. I'm getting better, a little bit by little bit, practicing. I got a couple of people here hanging out with me who are fantastic regulars already. The first regulars I have streaming. I'm getting ready to do the Legend League Singleton event for Argent Saga. And I'm building a deck for that right now. You know what else we need? We need towers. Ooh, we have options for towers too now. We have a lot of great options. Hey, thanks for hitting the follow, Ash. Tower of Fear. You may exhaust 2 of your opponent's shards. I don't think that's very good. Now, Tower of Gus, I think is amazing. Especially in a tempo deck with a lot of instacast effects. when your opponent hits this tower, you get to untap all of your shards again. And if you tap out for a major threat, you want to be able to recover all your shards. Especially if you know this is like a tower that your opponent's about to attack soon. It's really good. I like it. Tower of Glimmers. When your tower is destroyed, you may exhaust all your units your opponents control. That's also really good, but at 1,000 power, it gets hit pretty early, pretty easy. Tower of Gust is 1,500, which is an improvement over the 1,000 of the Tower of Air. We also have Tower of Embers, which can knock out 2 of your opponent's units, or 1 somewhat bigger unit, but it doesn't have the absolute finality of Tower of Fire. If I were to build a sideboard for this deck, I would probably put one or the other in the sideboard and switch it out based on the type of deck I'm playing against. Because this is Singleton, I expect a lot of various units of various sizes. I might go ahead and just play a Tower of Embers, just because it's, again, stronger than a Tower of Fire, and it gives me the ability to be able to shoot multiple targets. Tower of Water. Where's the Surging Towers? Or Tower of Waves, there we go. When this tower is destroyed, you may draw 3 cards and put 2 in your hand and then 1 on the bottom of your deck. So it's the same thing as drawing 2 cards, except that you lose one of them. So I just like to draw straight 2 cards, whatever's on top of my deck. I have a lot of ways to be able to fix the top of my deck anyways, so I'm likely to have various things helping me out there. Tower of Light, just to be able to get that light unit. Tower of Darkness. Do any of the Surging Towers warrant the opportunity to use? Use only if your spirit or champion is fire. So I guess we can only use Surging Torrents. Let's see what it does. When this card is destroyed, you may search your deck for a spell and add it to your hand. And you only get to use this effect if you have more destroyed towers than your opponent. I don't like that. I don't like that clause at all. So I think I'm done with these 5 here. Tower of Darkness, Tower of Light, and Tower of Water, use standard 3. Tower of Embers and Tower of Gusts are just these substitutes. They have 1,500 power, so none of my towers are under 15. They're all 1,500 power. Thanks for popping in, Ash. Have a great night, man. Gotta group those together, get those ready. Put them up here. Bloop. Alright, now, for the edits. We'll put these back in the spirit box for now, because we can always get them back out later. Again, like, we wanted to look at the ability to be able to splash those 2 colors, but for the sake of time, I'm just going to go ahead and run with what we got for the mono blue here. Shard box. No. Yeah. There we go. Put that back in the Argent box. So I'm going to search through here, see what we got, and see what we can do for cuts. So I'm just going to start laying stuff out. Gonna make some 1-drop pile over here. Conran. So here we already have 3 penguin, 1-drop penguins. That's good. I like that. Start our 2-drop column. Cryoform. Make that a spell under the 1-drop spells here. So I'll put that actually. I'll move this guy down here a little bit. Just the way that I'm doing this mentally. I'm gonna be able to like put like the 1-drop. Glacial Clones. This is a potential cut. I'm just gonna tap this for now, just to symbolize. Ah, there we go. That's the word, symbolize. Do, 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 do. There's so many things in here. This deck is going to be so crazy. Maybe. Ash. Ash, the Glacial Sorcerer. So, let's go back over what she does again, right? When you play a water spell, you can place an ice wall counter on target non-destroyed tower you own. Towers with ice wall counters get plus 500 defense. If a tower is destroyed, remove all ice counters from that tower. Remove all ice counters from all towers you own and deal damage to target unit equal to the number of counters removed, times 500. So, these ice wall counters, they stay on the towers when Ash is destroyed, and they provide the defense even if Ash isn't on the board. So, I believe that is the correct ruling. So even if you don't get to remove the tokens in order to shoot something, he still has the ability to be able to buffer your towers a little bit more, which is great in a tempo deck where you're playing against aggro deck styles. This guy's going to be in the 4-drop slot because he's so good. That's way over here though. 3-drop. 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 5-drop. 2. Oh yeah, the Ella Master. That's going to be so much fun. The Shardwork Arbiter. I didn't put this in here. Go back to the Argent deck with you. Gotta drop more 4-drops there. Oh, there we go. There's a good 1-drop. Yeah. Eccentric Visitor. Aikuba Juggernaut. This, I'm gonna say, is more of a pseudo 3. The Dragon. Leviathan. I mean, that could be a cut, but I just love the Leviathan. Genso. Let's see what we got for 1-drop unit so far. We got actually a good number of 1-drop units. This one has an arrive effect, so that's useful. And these two have arrive effects, so that's also useful. And so does this one. So there's another 1-drop with another arrive effect. So Genso might come in handy, being able to recycle some of those 1-drop spells, 1-drop units rather. Silver Watchwoman might get the cut, which is weird. Acid Monger. Having another way to be able to deal with your opponent's augments other than just your Zephyr Crystals can be useful, but I don't know if it'll make it or not. Oops. And the last card. Where's the last? Oh, Mayo. There we go. Alright, so we'll dig in. So we need to make... Oops. We need to make 7 cuts. We're going to start here with our 1-drop side. See if anything doesn't look right. I kind of like... So we got these 1-drop penguins. We got 3 of those. So we need the penguins because we can gain potential card draw with Hanzo. And we like these guys for the standard reasons why they exist. We like the Seer and the Kins because they help us they help us fix the top cards of our decks. And they can attack and scout towers. Bone Scavenger helps control graveyards as well as manage as well as can get bigger and crack towers. So those are all solid. So those are the new penguin spells. Then we have Ancient Serpent's Breath and Phantasmal Guards, which I don't know if Phantasmal Guards is good anymore because Guardians are just such a liability with that overrun ability kicking around. So this is a potential cut for me, but this can stall us to the late game too. I'm going to go ahead and just tap that. This is a potential cut because it requires too much manipulation in order to be able to get that ruined effect from it. And water units I control get plus 500 for each stunned unit my opponent controls. Actually, might not be that bad, especially with running all these 1-drops, right? So I have 5 water 1-drops. I mean, imagine Mr. Kin's coming in and cracking the towers for 1500 power. My opponent controls a couple stunned units. I mean, it'd be unexpected. I like that. I like the unexpected, except when it happens to me. Stovetop Elemental. Sure, Glacial Shuriken. Drop it underneath here. The old spells. The new spells. Like, even though we want this for the additional ability to be able to destroy augments, maybe it's just not that good. I mean, maybe it is. Maybe I don't know what I'm talking about. The Pangutsu glacial clones, that could be again a potential cut and again a potential opportunity. I love this new Coral, Elemaster Coral. I think that's a keeper. If you control a water unit, switch control of this card and target unit your opponent controls. So, I mean, the condition is not hard to meet either. I use a 1500 power for 2, potentially 2000 power. Yeah, it's just so good. So let's potential cut that, potential cut those. Now we can run above 40 cards, which I am known for doing. I think some of the cuts might be on this upper end here too. Shardwork Titan. Yeah, that shouldn't be in here. Get back in there. Let's get back to the board here. Hit those 3s. This is going to be a weird, tricky one. I don't know if if it's good or not, but we could play around. If you control a penguin unit, you may stun target unit. This one might actually be a cut. I don't think I like the idea of the conditions behind it. Especially when we don't have that same consistency. That guy's good. I'm keeping him. These 3 experimental. And then we just have some of these guys, which are just our normal. So, Tidal Rush, you can return a unit to its owner's hand, and then if you shard drain, you can return another unit to its owner's hand. That's pretty useful, really good. And you also you draw a card. So return target unit to its owner's hand and draw a card. And if you shard drain for 1, you can return another unit to its owner's hand. So it replaces itself, and it creates that opportunity to be able to just temple your opponent some more, force them to use their bigger, higher cost units again, and recast them. And we have the Sentinel. The Sentinel just draws us some cards. He doesn't really do much else. He does control my opponent's graveyard a little bit, but we do have Bone Scavenger, and maybe we get lucky without him. I think he's a cut. Catco is good. He can recycle my units again. Put target unit on the discard zone on top of his owner's deck. And we have Akuma Wavebender for hitting some of those units. Just creating more tempo. Alright, so we have our 4-drop slots next. This guy is a must-have. Absolutely. This card just is absolutely incredibly great. There was not one time that I've casted this card that the opponent hasn't gone, well, wait, what? Yeah. There's not a whole lot here for the 4-drops. Might be a weird spot for us, but that's okay. I mean, we have a lot of other stuff going on up top here. Yeah, that guy's good. And Ayakuma Juggernaut could be a potential cut if I need to. I mean, look how many 6-drops I have, though, too. There's a lot of 6-drops. Mayu is a keep. If I can cast turn 5 Kumakori and then turn 6 Mayu, and with the Kumakori on board, my opponent's going to be in a whole world of hurt. Stormcaster, again, same deal. As well as Stormcaster helps control the board. Chronostasis is my reset button. Arbiter. Is this just too cute? I mean, I guess she could fit in my 4 slot. And Shardwork Arbiter. You know, maybe the Shardwork Arbiter is a cut in this deck. I'd rather potentially play the ability to be able to make sure that my units get through. But do I feel like taking a whole turn off to cast her? I don't know. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my potential cuts and drop them down. I'm going to regroup the deck and see how many cards I got. Boom, 37. So I want to take 3 of these guys. And put them back into the deck. So these are the 7 cards I have spare right now. I could choose 3 of these to put in the deck, or 3 of something else if I think of anything else. Return target attacking or blocking unit you control to its owner's hand, and if you do, put 2 clone tokens into play. Unblockable, make some guardians. Let's put... I kind of want to put several Watchwomen back in. Potential option 1, 2, 3. No, I promised I would run the big Arbiter, the big boy. Destroyer, Guardian, Overrun, Quickness, Target Attack. Destroyer. Yeah, I'm gonna run him. Okay. Because I can tap other units I control, right? So, and that's makes Phantasmal Guards a lot better too. Is that I can tap my Phantasmal Guards in order to be able to help pay for him. Just putting stuff back away here. Oh, yeah. I missed him somehow. Leviathan, what do you guys think? I like the Leviathan. He's also got Destroyer. Arrive, take control of target unit. You know what? And we can do 41 cards. Let's do it. Let's be crazy. Like honestly, this might be a little bit top heavy, but it's also got a lot of stuff on the lower end too. So we have the ability to be able to do a lot of potential things. So let's put that together there. Save as object. Save object. Where are you at? Save object. Gonna do penguin singleton. And then that should be good. Let's see if I can load this just to make sure. Objects. Saved objects. Penguin silver. Boop. Boom. Yeah, alright, we got a deck. Let's get back to the main menu here and let's hit up Damien and let him know that I'm good to roll. Hey everybody, how's it going? I am back. I have a pairing, so now I'm going to create a room and share the room code. Alright, so now I'm just waiting for my opponent to show up. Also, if he wants to voice chat on Discord too. Looks like I gotta plug my phone in too. Alright, so Senua is my is my opponent. And Wild Paul is another streamer who wants to go ahead and stream to live to Facebook. So you guys can watch the stream on Facebook as well if you want. I do believe that Paul can access my deck list and stuff too. So my opponent's setting himself up right now too. Hello, Senua. How's it going? Hi, Paul. Nice to see you. Hey, everybody on Paul's stream. How's it going? I'm going to be playing Senua here. I built just now a mono blue Hanzo-Tux deck on stream. If you guys want to check that out, feel free. I will post. I can post the list somewhere after this event as well. Gonna use 2 dice. Hey Senua, what towers are you using? Alright, my opponent is using the Tower of Light, Tower of Air, Tower of Fire, Tower of Darkness, and Tower of Water, straight up. My opponent is playing Liam Kite. Oh man, okay, so this should be great. Senua, are you all set with my towers? I can start randomizing them. Gonna randomize my deck, randomize my shard deck. My opponent got a 6. I got a 5. So my opponent will start the game. We will draw 5. This is what I got. I got the Elemaster, the Shuriken, the Ash, Phantasmal Storm, and Gensu. I think I'm going to go ahead and put Gensu down. And draw 1. And I got a Shard. Soft Winter. Alright, so my opponent's put down 3 cards so far, or 2 cards so far. He's looking to see if he wants to do that. Senua, do you know how to use the voice commands in here? If you don't, you can use your voice by holding down the C button, C for chat, and you can voice chat. So I'm going to draw for turn. Going to play 1 shard. And I will pass the turn. Waiting to see what he's going to do. I have my Pingardian Pupil I can flash in. Senor, I play that at your end of your turn. Gonna see what he has here. He has a Rose Knight. When this card uses Guardian, you may add target gear from your discard zone to your hand. And while this card is equipped with a gear, units adjacent to this card gain plus 500 in Guardian. Okay, that's cool. Now I have a couple of options here. So he's playing all three standard towers, all five standard towers. So I could potentially kill one of them right now. I could use my Phantasmal Storm to shoot his Guardian, or I can stun his Guardian and then get an attack in. And if I do this, then I get a trigger for the Hanzo. Or I can play Elemaster and pass turn and exchange control of Elemaster with his Guardian. So I think what I'm going to do, actually, is just go ahead and shoot that guy. Now, he could try to pump with Liam, but Liam's pump is only going to give him plus 500, so he's not going to survive the 2,000 damage from the Phantasmal Storm. It looks like he's trying to do something, but I'm not sure what. He might Soul Burst Kite to save it. So I hit his Tower of Darkness. So I wonder what plans he has with that Guardian guy. He saved it. He Soul Bursted his Kite in order to save it. Turn 3, I think I want to go ahead and play this Ash. I draw one for turn. Some Mr. Kins. I get to look at the top two cards of my deck. I want to put this on top because I want to draw that next turn and not the totem. I want to see what else I can do here. I could play my Ash. No, I can't. So I have to actually exhaust for that. I gotta pay my stuff. I can't just be all shenanigan-y. So I'm gonna go ahead and play an Elemaster anyways. Now I could go to combat and attack into this and force him to discard, but I don't think I want to do that. When this card uses Guardian, you may add target gear from your discard zone to your hand. So what he's going to do, right? So he's going to, if I declare an attack, he's going to discard a gear to the graveyard zone and then bring it back with that to the thing. My Coral Master is now live, and my Mr. Kins is now live, so I could mess around with the board if I need to. Now I can see what he was going to play, and I might be able to steal what he's playing with my Coral. And because Coral exhausts in order to steal, then he's going to receive Coral in an exhausted state. So he opened up my Tower of Gus and did not destroy anything because it's not very strong. If he had discarded first, then potentially I would have been able to then he would have been able to crack the tower and he would have untapped my shards and I would have been able to play my Glacial Shuriken or Soulburst Tux if I wanted to. Alright, so equip to target unit. If it would take damage, you can sacrifice this and prevent that damage. Very nice, okay. Go ahead and keep stacking up your guy. I like it. I want him to stack that up as much as possible, but I don't think he is interested in doing so. So I kind of want to leave my Elemaster up. I could go ahead and play Kins out and see what's going on. I could also play my give him a moment to read Ash. Just for those of you looking on, this is what Ash does. Ash, the Glacial Sorcerer, is 3,000. Is a 2,000 power, 3 costs. Whenever I cast a water spell, I may place an Ice Wall counter on target non-destroyed tower I control. I actually played the Ash. So combat. Oops. Sorry. So I'm not hitting. Oops. Sorry. Yeah, so he understood what I'm saying. Alright, so I hit his water tower. So I know what's his water tower. I know what his darkness tower is. So I could do that. Gotta look at these 2 cards. Put them back in whatever order I want. Ooh, I like that. I'm gonna keep that in that order. And pass turn. So he has this guy that equipped a target unit. If it would take damage, you can sacrifice this gear instead, prevent the damage. He's reading my cards, seeing what they do. Casting for 4. He's tapping for 4. Oh, man. Odds or evens. He's choosing odds. Okay. So I have a response. Do 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 do. So response. And then these two are going to go to the bottom of my deck. Like that. He's going to attack. Yep. So he's popping up the tower here. He's going to hit my tower of gusts. Do I want him to do that? Yes. So I'm going to go ahead and exhaust that. Untap all of those. And then I'm going to probably cast a Shuriken here in a second. And I'm going to Shuriken the Sylphia. And if I Shuriken the Sylphia, then I can play this guy and destroy it. Oh yeah, he's searching that one up, so he has Glory in his hand. And Glory cost, I think it was 1. So what do I want to do here? I have 2 cards I can cast, right? So that's a 2,500 power unit. So what I'm going to do is stun this. And then whenever a unit you control destroys a tower and may draw a card, then discard a card. Okay, that's good to know. So I'm going to take my turn, draw 1, and then untap these 2. Play 1. Going to look at the top 2 cards of my deck. Right, look at the top 2 cards of my deck and put them back in any order. I got a Penguin. While my opponent controls a stunned unit, this card gets plus 1,000. And whenever this card declares an attack, I may destroy a target stunned unit. And I have that guy. So either one's good. If I stun... So I plan on playing this and destroying target stunned unit. So I'm going to keep that like that. So he understood. Very good. Okay, and we're going to end turn. So I still have my Coral, my Elmaster Coral active right now. I can go ahead and if he tries to pull some shenanigans with his one unit on board, I can swap control with that unit and kind of put a halt to that. Yeah. So he just kind of arranged this a little bit better. So whenever this card uses Guardian, you can add target unit. So I want to see what he's going to do here. If he's going to try to attach more augments to it. If he attaches more augments to it, it might be worth me just taking control of it. And then I could also bounce back the Coral Master to its owner's hand. With another bounce spell. Oh, he's going for 6 here. Okay, okay. This card costs 1 less to cast. Neither player can play non-light spells, and non-light units come to play exhausted. Ouch. So Guardian, target attack, unblockable. I like this. He's gonna he's gonna be sad man right here just about a moment. So I wonder what the plan here is. Guardian target attack unblockable. Going to draw a card for turn. But neither player can play non-light spells, and non-light units come into play exhausted. So I kind of want to hit. So I think he kind of did that on purpose. He's a 5,000 power. Let's go ahead and just start cracking some towers, huh? So I could draw 1 and discard 1. Off of the Emperor Tux. So he has a token now. And I can attack towers here. Let's attack. So I'm going to draw 1 and discard 1. Whenever a stun unit your opponent controls. So I can get this back. So I'm going to discard that. Yeah, that was pretty crazy. So I want to see if he can play another unit. If he plays another unit or two first, that'd be fantastic. Or if he plays anything on the units that he has, because I still have Tux, and I can still soul burst him to be able to stun my opponent's units. And if I stun my opponent's units, right, then I can put two more cards at least in my underneath my Hanzo, and then I can nullify those two light and air towers right here with Hanzo's ability. So get the light and fire towers and the darkness tower. If I can leave the darkness tower for last, hey, Wild Paul and Damien, you guys are listening in, right? Can you guys tell me if that Kara also stops you from being able to play Argent spells and units? Playing Longinus? So equipped to target unit, it gets plus 1000. Sacrifice this card to deal 1500 damage to target unit. You can only control one Longinus. Okay, very good. One, two, two, three. Playing three. Oh, so you got Quorum Assassin. So quickness, arrive. You can sacrifice a gear you control to destroy a target unit your opponent controls. Response. Oops. Okay, so I think he says factor. So I didn't get to destroy. Okay. All right, so I think he's happy with that board state right now. Let's see here. Now I can play spells again, though. I have three up, though. Okay, so I will draw one. Untap. Untap. Ah. Alright, so he has 3 stun units. Oh. So I killed his fire tower, got scot-free with it. Now I want to keep up my shards of winter. Oh. Gotta put my last shard in there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I can play something for 3, right? So I want to keep my shards of winter. What can I play to progress my board? I want to play him. I want to play, yeah, him and him. And then end turn. And I remove the stun effects. So ideally, he plays another um, another unit or two before attacking. 1, 2. Let's see what he's got. Okay. So Glory equipped to a unit with cost 4 more against Brawler. And whenever this equipped unit destroys a unit in battle, you may sacrifice the equipped unit. And if you do, put into play hero from your... Okay. Let's see what he's doing. He's reading the cards. So what I did just now is I set myself up to be able to have the potential to be able to kill him next turn. I don't know what he has. I don't know what he's going to do. A spell or ability. Does Brawler count as an ability? But it's not a target. Target attack doesn't target. Brawler gives it target attack. Sort of. Can attack exhausted units. Nice. Playing Great Behemoth. So now he's trying to load his board. I also have Quickness guy that I can attack with as well. So if I can crack his air tower and nullify that. I think he's trying to figure out how to get out of this. Okay, so do I have any effects at end of turn? No. I will draw one for turn. That was unfortunate. But here, I think I have the winning combination. So I use his ability to be able to destroy target stun unit. Let's see if I got it. I got it. I got it. Woohoo! That was my brew right there. Silver Clutch Woman. So, Silver Watch Woman for the clutch win there. Glad I put her in the deck after all, right? Just all those quickness abilities and spells. That was pretty nuts. That was exciting. That was a huge victory win right there. I am excited. I think I did miss one Hanzo trigger in that game. Dude, that was so much fun. Oops, not you. What do you guys think, huh? What do you think about that guy, huh? That elemental coral? That guy was clutch. Elemaster Coral. Exhaust. If you control a water unit, switch control of this card and target unit your opponent controls. Thanks, Paul. That was so much fun. Let's see if I can reach out to Senua here real quick. I just reached out to Senua, thanking her for the game. I'm gonna just, I'm telling the Elemaster Coral. I'm letting Senua know what I think about that guy. He's absolutely crazy. All right. Well, I mean, that is what I got here for this game. Any questions from anybody watching on? So, the way that I had played it out with the Hanzos, I made sure to eliminate the two most important cards that were detrimental to me, which was the red and the fire and air towers, because they could just kill my units right on board, and I wouldn't be able to do anything about that. And there's nothing I could do to save them. And just the way that the game played out, that was what I needed to do. And there's a Silver Watchwoman in hand. I played it so that I made sure to play the Silver Watchwoman before hitting the Darkness Tower, because if I hit the Darkness Tower first, then they're just going to rip the Silver Watchwoman out, and I needed to hit the game. Uh, so that was the finishing touch right there. It was just a very solid transition at the end there. And it was unfortunate that he didn't have anything to be able to counteract that. There are a lot of spells in green that I was concerned about, Guiding Winds and Kaze being a couple of them. I was surprised that I so handily dealt with the Sophia. That was pretty awesome. I'm happy to see that I was able to break through that Sophia. I don't know if breaking his kite was his best option in the beginning of the game. I think he should have let me mess with him or destroy that guy or whatever I was did at the beginning of that game. I think that he should have saved his kite for when he was ready to use it for something more important. Unfortunately, but maybe I'm wrong though too. It's hard to say. Um, Either way, it was a fantastic game. I had a lot of fun, and I played some cards I haven't played before, and it was fantastic. I got to play a couple of the new cards. Got to play the whole Penguin suite that I like. I got to play the big boy. What's his name there? The Kumakari, the Tutelary. I got to play the Tutelary. That was fantastic, and he came in clutch like all game long. My opponent was thinking about targeting him with the assassin's ability, but if I were to do that, then then my ability of my tutelary would trigger, and I'd be able to destroy one of his guys. That soul burst of the Tux was well timed and well planned out in order to be able to just really load up Hanzo, and it was just too good. which is I'm not trying to brag. It's just how the deck played out was just very smooth, and I'm looking forward to potentially playing this deck again next week in next week's League of Legends event. Actually, I'll be working that Wednesday night, so I will not be able to do that one. But that was it. That's all I got for you guys right now for this evening. It is time for me to get offline, and I'll see you all again very soon. Thank you very much, and have a great night.